Deep in the heart of Bangor, Maine, sits a truck stop that's more than just a diner. This is Dysart's. It's an iconic pit stop with warm food, strong coffee, and a dark little secret. It's where a young Stephen King looked out a window and imagined trucks taking over their masters and becoming very malevolent. I'm standing outside a Dysart's truck stop here near Bangor, Maine, and this was a truck stop that Stephen King often visited, and he would stare out these windows at the trucks and imagined a story like Maximum Overdrive. So this is Dysart's. It's what actually inspired Stephen King to write Maximum Overdrive.
Okay. Just kind of getting you up stuff. Okay, so that's a win. Could be something else. Do you ever have to go supposedly? Yes. They're both out this like you just my mind's like
It wasn't how it was before was wrong.
Yep. All right, and for you. I'm gonna do the South green. You want eggs? Yeah. Alright, so okay, and homework plus 13. Bye.
So they're all doing a version of the offense that the varsity's doing, right? So
Well, whether you're here for the cooking, the lure, to visit where Stephen King once sat, if you're looking for hearty food, Dysart's does not disappoint. It was great. Everything was cooked the way I asked it to be cooked. Super friendly people. Yeah, so great place. So if you're in the Maine Bangor area, then I would suggest checking out Dysart's truck stop. It's pretty busy with trucks, which you expected because it is a truck stop. But great food. So guys, there you have it. Dysart's truck stop, where Diesel meets the dark mind of Stephen King. If you're passing through here, I encourage you to stop, grab a slice of pie, just walk around the truck stop. And just for a moment, you can actually, feel like you're diving into Stephen King's mind and where he came up with some pretty phenomenal, eccentric, macabre stories. And just in case, keep an eye on the vending machines. Just in case. The Stephen King house here in Bangor, Maine. So this is 47 West Broadway. It's in Bangor. And as most of you can see, this is a red Victorian home. Of course, it's iconic for horror fans because this is the home of Stephen King. This house was actually built in 1854 for William Arnold. He was just a prosperous livery stable owner. The house is a rare example of the Italianate villa architecture here in Maine. Stephen King and his wife acquired this house in 1980. And this house there was a lot of books that were written in this house. And of course, Bangor was the scene. He set the scene for Derry, Maine, obviously in his book, and then later turned into a movie, It. Lots of cool. This fence is just cool. Got what looks like a three-headed dragon here. This is an iron fence. Of course, it's adorned with spiders. And you can see this spider here has a 4. That's on the front gate. And this one has a 7. And then if we go to the main gate up here, which would actually be an entryway, this spider has a K on it for King. Of course, they have signs out here that there's no trespassing and you cannot cross these boundaries, so I wouldn't do that. The gate is open today. Someone's in there clearly working. But it's just, you don't want to do that. So there is an ash tree. I don't know the full story behind this. Know that it died at some point, and Stephen's wife, Tabitha, had commissioned a gentleman by the name of Josh Landry to create what you see here, this whimsical sculpture. It's like a bookshelf, and there's some animals on the bookshelf and some creatures on top of it. But that's pretty cool. So in 2019, they actually approved this to become a writer's retreat. It will actually house up to 5 writers at a time. No details on when they're going to start that or how you can actually get involved if you want to write, but that's what they did back in 2019. Okay, so my next stop brings me to the Paul Bunyan statue here in Bangor, Maine. And this is where I want to put out a warning for those of you who have kids. From this point forward, The videos could be a little gory because we will have some scenes from different movies where this stuff was inspired by. So those of you that are sensitive to that stuff, just keep going to the next video. Otherwise, this is going to be about horror, macabre, Stephen King, crazy-brained ideas that he had, both in books and video. So just a warning for those of you that are sensitive to this stuff. So the statue that's behind me, this big, huge statue, was actually a statue that was featured in It. It wasn't this exact statue, but this is where the concept kind of came from, the idea within Stephen King's mind. So guys, this statue is here at 519 Main Street in Bangor, and it sits across from the Cross and Shorn Center. It's 31 foot high, or approximately 9.4 meters. It weighs 3,700 pounds. It's made out of fiberglass over a steel frame, and it was engineered to withstand winds up to 140 miles per hour. This was unveiled February 12th, 1959, coinciding with Bangor's 125th anniversary. The designer is J. Norman Martin. He's a local artist, and he received $134 for his design. It was constructed by Messmore and Damon, a New York-based firm known for parade floats. Paul Bunyan is a mythical lumberjack in American folklore, often accompanied by his blue ox, Babe. While multiple states do claim to be his birthplace, Bangor asserts its connections due to its rich logging history. The city even has a birth certificate for Bunyan dated February 12, 1834, displayed at the city clerk's office. And outside here in front of it, there is a lot of data about how it was built, what inspired it as far as the logging community goes. It's a legend. And then the tall tales of how it came about with Paul Bunyan and the Babe the Blue Ox. And I wanted to give you guys a visual reference of how tall this statue actually is. I'm about 5'10", and you can see, I don't even come up to this, so you can see how tall that statue really is. This Paul Bunyan statue came to life in an It movie. So it's pretty cool to see what inspired that creature to come alive in the mind of Stephen King. I'm here at the Thomas Hill Standpipe. Perched above Bangor like a silent sentinel, the Thomas Hill Standpipe holds 1.7 million gallons of water. And of course, a few ghost stories that go with it. So in 1897, to help fight the fires and stabilize water pressure, they constructed this. And this structure is more than a utility. It's a part Gothic landmark and part local legend. And why is it a local legend? Because none other than Stephen King, who lives just a few blocks from here, he imagined this place as something a lot more sinister. It's where a young boy meets an unspeakable terror. Just looking at that doorway, it does appear like something sinister could live in here. Tragically, in 1940, a young boy fell inside the structure, and since then people do claim to hear him whisper quietly in the night along with footsteps. And while this tower doesn't appear on screen, Stephen King used it to inspire one of his creepiest scenes. And when you stand here, it's easy to imagine why. Would you guys climb this towering staircase to get to the top? Leave a comment down below and let me know. And also, would you spend a night here if you could? Leave a comment down below if you would spend a night here. If you guys like unique places like this, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so that when we put stuff out, you can actually be notified that there's new content out. Also, what most people don't talk about is, looks like this is probably a dog park that's open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Some picnic tables up here. If you want to bring a little picnic lunch here. And I got a thing right here in the middle. It says the Bird Conservatory Club. So I'm assuming there's some kind of a bird conservatory here. And then you can walk down close to these eerie woods here. There's another little picnic table down here. And you got the woods of Maine. You know, while this tower doesn't appear on screen, Stephen King did use this inspiration from this to inspire one of the creepiest creatures known in literary history. It's very cool. You got a flag flying at the very top. I did read an article somewhere where I think a few times out of the year they actually do open it up so you can actually climb to the top and you can see all of Bangor from the top of this. Okay, another Stephen King must-visit place is the sewer grate that inspired him to have a creature like a clown come out of it called It.
Bill's gonna kill me.
So I kind of walked around trying to find it. It's not like it was online with the rusty grate. It's clearly they've replaced it. Okay, so I am at I'm looking here to see how to pronounce it, the Kendusteg Stream here near downtown Bangor. Stephen King drew inspiration from this stream for his fictional town of Derry and several of his novels, obviously, and the most notable was It. You know, he got this inspiration because of the Barrens. It was a secluded area here in Maine where the Losers Club would gather. And the real-life Barrens correspond to the woods area along the Kendusteg in Bangor, so along the trail here. There's actually a trail, and that's where he would have gotten the inspiration for that whole scene for Derry. Some other quick facts is that the stream is 36.2 miles of waterway that originates in a Garland pond in the town of Garland and flows southeast through Corinth, Kendusteg, and Glenburg before reaching Bangor in downtown. The stream drops 100 feet over 2 miles, creating a series of rapids before it merges with the Penobscot River. The stream is home to the annual Kendusteg Stream Canoe Race, one of the largest paddle events in New England, first held in 1967. The race attracts hundreds of participants each spring, navigating the challenging rapids from the town of Kendusteg to downtown Bangor. There's a stream trail offers a 2.2-mile path through Bangor, combining urban and natural landscapes. The trail features interpretive signs detailing the area's history, including the Great Fire of 1911 and the contribution of the Wanabaki people. So that was extremely fun. If you're into history, art, this is a place you definitely want to check out. You know, outside of obviously Stephen King spent a lot of time here doing research, you know, this is just a cool spot. The ambiance, the history of it, it's just beautiful. So if you ever get a chance to stop in here, I would highly recommend it. Parking's across the road. I paid like 90 cents for an hour, so not bad for parking prices. And leave a comment down below. Have you been to this library before? Are you planning on coming to this library? And then do you have any cool pictures or videos that you filmed while you were here? So then our final place takes us today to Mount Hope here in Bangor, Maine. And I want to show you a very interesting point of view. So for those of you that remember, in Pet Sematary, when Stephen King was writing about the when Gage was buried up here, this is the location that you would have seen him here on the hillside. But down there is also where Stephen King was seen giving, he was a cameo as a priest or pastor.
And now, may the Lord bless you and keep you.
So I hiked up the side of this hill to get to the top here so I can get that shot that we would have seen in the Pet Cemetery. This is probably where the cameramen were up here shooting down there at that area. And it's quite steep, so I'm actually going to walk down the pathways, which is longer, to get back down there instead of walking down those steps and taking a chance at falling forward. This cemetery was actually modeled after Mount Auburn Cemetery in Massachusetts. It was designed by architect Charles G. Bryant and consecrated in 1836. Some people that are buried here is Hannibal Hamlin, the 15th Vice President of the United States under Abraham Lincoln. Al Brady is buried here. He's the infamous gangster killed in a shootout in Bangor in 1937. And then Charles A. Boudeleille, he was a U.S. congressman and Civil War naval officer. It spans 264 acres. It has lots of rolling hills and ponds and a variety of trees, and I can definitely assure you that there's lots of hills here. I just walked up probably a whole tier of one. It's embodied by garden cemetery monuments that's ideals for gardening. Home to several war memorials, including one of the oldest Civil War monuments in the country. So directly behind me is the exact scene down there where Stephen King made that cameo appearance in Pet Sematary when he was doing the housekeeper's laundry, or the housekeeper that did their laundry rather. This is where that scene was. And if we continue to walk down here, now this has not been confirmed, but there are a lot of posts that says that, you know, he got his inspiration for the little boy on Pet Sematary. His name was Georgie. So here is what they're saying. He was inspired by that. And then if we travel on up this way, there was another famous movie that he drew inspiration from, allegedly. Carrie M. But who knows? We don't know if, you know, these were the inspirations or if it's just rumor. But that's what I read. It's kind of a view from what it would look like from down here. That's where I was on top of the hill there, shooting this scene from up there down to here. But if you see that statue up there, right in the middle of the screen, and that tree to the left, that's where Lewis Creed would have been sitting over top of Gage's grave. All right, everyone, I want to thank you for watching this video all the way through and kind of taking this journey with me that I've wanted to take for years. Probably ever since I was in high school and introduced to Stephen King by my reading teacher. So it's something I've always wanted to explore, was when I knew he was from here, like what inspired him, you know, what made him tick, and this kind of gives you a little bit of insight into that, which is really cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys watch the tombstones and the cemetery here as I talk, but that really just sums up today in Bangor, Maine. I'm very happy that I got to do this. It was very rewarding. It was a very hot day, a lot of walking, but it was well worth it. So if you guys could like this video, subscribe to our channel if you're not, and for those that are, I want to thank you and appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing and helping make this stuff just possible for us. Leave a comment down below to your favorite location here in Maine, and if you've experienced any of this stuff, if you have any suggestions. And I just want to thank you guys for Patreon. If you guys are interested in subscribing to our Patreon channel, we have some special gifts for the people that do that, and you also get some behind the scenes stuff. And also, I'm going to start, when I take pictures of stuff, instead of showing it on film, I'm going to actually put that in on a website. So for those of you that want to go through and dive deep into the pictures I take and the articles and the different things that I have pictures of that I find interesting, if you want to look at those as well, you'll be able to do that. So we'll start that soon, put some links in the descriptions as those become available. But as always, here's to many more miles and so many more memories.